Hey guys, Chris from Flow Designs. Now today we have an FL5 Civic Type R, and this is our new rear diffuser kit with the spats, and I'm going to show you how to get it onto the car. So before we get into it, there's a few things that we want to run through first, because there are some options. So firstly is the finish. You can choose either the gloss finish or the texture finish, which is great because they're very scratch resistant. All the hardware is stainless steel, so they're not going to rust on you, and they're all nice and flat on the bottom. For the spats, you can option for the textured winglet, which I'll come into a bit later. So with that out the way, let's get moving on to the car. The first thing we're going to do is set up your diffuser fins, because we'll be slotting them into our little flow lock channels. Now, this is really important. A lot of people stuff this up, so please pay attention. There are numbers on here that correspond to the numbers on the fin. Make sure you get them in correct order, because if you get them in, they're very hard to take off, and you have to give me a call. So what we'll do is focus on the part, and I'll show you what I mean. So you'll notice that all the diffuser fins, they have numbers L1, L2, 3, 4. R1, 2, 3, 4. They correspond to L1, 2, 3, 4, R1, 2, 3, 4, because there are 8 different size fins and they're all different. So what you're going to do is grab, say, L1. L1 goes in L1. It clicks in. L2 goes in L2. You want to lay them all out in the correct order, so that way when you're working with it, you're not going to get it wrong. Because when you, like I said before, if it's wrong, you're going to have a hard time getting off. So I'm going to start with L1 first, which I've got here. The way they work is, it's got these little teeth here that lock into the channel that we've machined into what we call the valance. So all you're going to do is grab it, line it up, push it down, it will click in place. And then repeat with 2, 3, and 4. Now I've locked these in. You know you've done it correctly, because this hole, you will see the little nub that is at the end of the fin. If they are in the hole, then you know you're in the correct position. So same thing, I've laid it out. What R1, 2, 3, 4, and I've got R1, 2, 3, 4, and I'll just work from inside to outside. So assemble diffuser. Now I've got the left one at the moment. You'll notice there's 3 holes. Now we need to make these 3 holes onto the back of the stock diffuser. So the back of that lines up with the back of the stock diffuser there, which I'll show you in a bit more detail in a second. So to get there, what you got to do is take off all those little push clips where these 2 parts meet. It's just temporary, so you can get your hand in to put the nuts in. So I'll take these clips off first, and I'll show you the next step. Now we need to align your diffuser so we can punch out the hole. So what we've done is, if you cup this over the stock diffuser, it kind of self-centers. It doesn't go left to right. So all you got to do is line up the back of that with our part there and there. I like to clamp it down so that way it doesn't run away. And you'll be able to do that because we took at the clips earlier. Just clamp it down temporarily, put it in the position, and then you better drill your holes. So line there, center it to there, and you can punch your holes. So I'm going to drill the holes here. I've used a 7mm this time. You can use an 8. That way you can move it around. So we've got our holes. Now we're going to need to put in our nut and bolt combos. Nut, bolt, washer. But there's a special part. This is a very bespoke part. Now what this does is this lives inside the stock diffuser fin. The reason why we've done it is because if you just put a washer in there, that's flat, that's not, and it's got to cut out or gouge out like a little flat spot. So what we've done is you put in the little curved, call it a spacer, in there first, and then your washer goes on top so it doesn't damage your stock diffuser. So this is sequence, bolt with the washer on it. This goes in the inside, followed by your washer, followed by your nut. I forgot to mention, there are actually two lengths of bolts. So the long ones go where the fins are, and the shorter one goes on the end. Last thing to do is to tighten all the bolts up because I just left them loose. All you're going to need is a 4mm Allen key and a 10mm spanner. Also, we did drill the holes a little bit bigger than the bolt, so if you need to, you can push it towards the center of the car to get that nice tight fitment. All I'm going to do now is repeat the same thing for the right side. Once that's done, don't put the clips in yet because we still need to do the spats. Now we're ready to install the spats. Now these are really easy. So the first step is to take out all the clips, which we've already done because we started with the diffuser first. To install this, all you got to do is line up this back line with the back of the gloss diffuser or the painted section of the car. Take out one of the factory screws, which are like a little Phillips head screws. We'll replace it with one of our own. Clamp it down, make the holes, nut and bolt, and then you're pretty much done. Before I drill, I thought I'd show you how I lined it up. So this car's white, so you can see the white painted section line up with our part there, continues around and lines up back there. We spent probably way too much time lining it up, so it's pretty accurate. From there, all you gotta do is drill out the holes, 1, 2, 3, and you're off. I forgot to mention, this last hole here, that's where the factory screw came out. So don't drill that because we're going to reuse that later. So just drill 1 and 2. And we are ready to put the nut and bolts in because I've drilled everything out. If you are installing the winglets, it's a good time to do it now because they do reuse some of the holes. So this back one here, where the factory screw came out, you can grab that with a washer, which is this one here. And that is shared with the winglet. So that goes there. This back one has its own thread. That gold one there uses the short bolts and that fastens on the back of the winglet. The rest of them is just nut bolt washer, just like the rest of our kit. So I've tightened that bolt and that bolt, which is purely just for the spat. Last thing you want to do is tighten these two where the winglets are, but make sure you adjust it to where you want it first and then tighten it. If you get it wrong, don't worry, you can get to it under the car later. So that's the spats and the winglet done on this side. All I'm going to do now is complete the other side doing the same thing. And don't forget to put your factory clips bit back in where your factory diffuser was. When you get to this hole here, it's a little bit different. You'll be supplied this little Chicago bolt, which is like a cap nut almost, and a little plastic washer. That lives inside facing down. And then what you do is you grab your very short nut, which is that one there, and that goes in there with a washer. Now, we use 8mm drill bits for basically everything. If you use anything smaller, you will need to expand this hole to a minimum of 8mm. Now I'm just going to put all the clips back in, starting from this end. And there you have it. That's how you get our diffuser and spats with the winglets on the back of the FL5 Civic Type R. Just remember, the spat has one little screw that's a bit different, so remember to get that and make sure you line everything up correctly before you tighten everything down. So I hope you found this video useful, and thanks for watching.